right, so today's workshop is going to be on shoulders. I've been seeing a lot of exercises on shoulders, but there's a couple things, and this is what I like to consider that Yogilachi specializes in. We get to the substantial or the fundamentals of things rather than just go right to the exercise. It's like some people will go and run to get in shape when they really need to get in shape to go running. And it's the same with the shoulders. So we can go and work on our shoulders to try to get them stronger so they're not in pain, but if we don't have the foundation or the fundamentals in place, we're actually doing more harm than good. So I want to go over some of the basics today, and these cost you nothing to do and can make a huge difference. In fact, if you're doing some of them, and you might recognize them, and you make a change in them, you may see your shoulder pain, you may feel your shoulder pain go away on its own without other intervention. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is breathing, because we sometimes don't realize that our breathing can have such a tremendous effect on these shoulders. A lot of times people are not breathing correctly. Why? Because they're forward in this position. We've been calling it the cashew position lately, but it's this kyphotic arch, and it's very prevalent in our society today because of the computer, the car, the movements that we do in this sitting position. And I mean, even trainers are doing that because we're over our clients and in these constant positions of forward bending instead of that nice flexion of the spine, and don't get that opportunity. So the other piece here, though, that I've noticed is with the shoulders, if one's usually up a little higher and there's some really tension in through this muscle through here, the upper traps, this mastoid, and that gets super tight, I've seen it more and more now in my 30 years that it's because people sleep like this. So if you tend to sleep balled up and your shoulder is up at your ear on either side, I'll usually look at someone and go, I know exactly how they sleep, because one shoulder is just hiked and that whole chain is super tight around that cervical spine. So that's one piece, and how you can change that is you get a correct pillow and you open your body up, take a look at just practicing. Awareness is the first piece. If you're not aware that position is actually, when you think about it, you're in 8 hours, you're compressed in that position, that's definitely going to be a problem. So be aware, make little subtle changes, make easy changes that you can do that are doable and you'll take action on, where you can relax and get a better night's sleep, breathing more fully. So that's going to take us to the next place. When those shoulders are in place, you can breathe more fully, but when they're forward, all of the thoracic collapse in on the diaphragm, and you can't take a full breath. I'm here trying to take a breath and I can't get a full breath, and if I try to, my shoulders come up to my ears, which means they've just come out of their orthopedic alignment, and that throws other muscles into place, which starts gripping, and it starts this whole domino effect of the problems that we're dealing with in these shoulders. So we want to start with standing up straight. Mama said stand up straight, right? Well, it's not sticking your chest out, it's getting that head on top of the body to where it's no longer being held up by all these muscles. It's in a relaxed position in a straight line. So your ears are over your shoulders, and then your shoulders are over your hips, and you've got a straight line. That instantly opens up the whole diaphragm so that you can actually breathe more fully, and the shoulders don't have to raise up to the ears in order for you to take a breath. That is a fundamental piece, and if that's out, it's pretty difficult to get any kind of real strength in the shoulders. And then you've got all kinds of movements that we can do, but again, it's got to come from a place of orthopedic alignment, of good structural alignment, and then the rest can be built from there, right? So you have to have that foundation. This is probably the most important thing I think that someone can get, and that's why I focus on it at Yogilachi. These foundations, these foundational pieces that are overlooked because everyone's trying to get in there, get fast, pound it out, and you're doing more harm than good. So we get back these basics: sitting tall, standing tall, opening those shoulders gently so that the shoulders can rest, that the humerus is sitting And it's in that shoulder joint in a comfortable way and not forward. So if that humerus head is forward, you've got a tremendous amount of compression. Then you go and try to work that shoulder, and the humerus is out of alignment because it's in a forward position. You go and put some weight on that, or you try to do any other position, and you are just perpetuating a problem with all of the muscles through the back. And because I've been in the industry long enough now, I've seen the folks that are really good at working out but have done it incorrectly, what the end result is, and it's not pretty. You don't want those kinds of problems. So start with foundations, start with the breath. You can do simple things. I really believe in the power of simplicity, and instead of these pounding and doing wild and crazy things, do those wild and crazy things once you know how to move your body properly, once you know how to do the basics, the foundation, breathe properly. Then you can do all the pretty fancy stuff. Do your headstands, do your single hand handstands. Those will be effortless and pain-free when you have the foundations in those shoulders. Okay, once again, shoulders drop down, the head is on top of the body, in its place, and you can breathe more fully. Then you can do all kinds of movements. You can do your rotations. And once you've got that, then you can go ahead and load it up. You can load those, you can bring those down in, but you want to think of orthopedic alignment first and getting that shoulder in place, bringing those down. How are you sleeping? What are you sleeping on your stomach and your torque? Are you on your side and wrapped in a ball? We're going to make some of those changes. Are you sitting in the car stressing out at the wheel? Are you at the computer stressed out? That is all going to compound it. So get tall, relax, take a breath out. Sometimes we focus on the in-breath, and we don't need to do that so much as focus on the out-breath, so we can bring that body into a state of more relaxed, digestive, processing state, as opposed to this survival, fight, or flight, which most people are in, unfortunately, 70 to 80% of the time. That's not a great place to be. Survival brain is set up for us to be there in the instant so that we can lift the car off the baby that's under there, or we can chase after our child before they fall off a ravine. Those are the kinds of things that we want. We don't want that on 70 to 80% of the time during the day. So when you relax, you get those shoulders in place, your shoulders are going to ease up. That pain is going to start releasing naturally without having to do any intervention. And that's the lesson for the day. All right, take a breath and let it out. I'm Stefani with Yogilachi. Have a great day.